I'm sorry to say I'm not going to show any of that stuff to you today. What I'm going to show you is the more technical stuff that's on the side of preparing for outside of the classroom. So you probably have heard of Khan Academy. I didn't write it up. It's Khan. And they're some of the biggest innovators in this area, I think, having a lot of content. Interestingly enough, there's nothing in ESL. There is something for state exams in English, but that's it. So my job is to try to figure out, well, how does it apply to ESL? And I'm going to share some things with you, and I think that it's in a process of development, and that once you start recording your own original content, then you can go on and you can mix in things that you find on the internet, and it's not all your work, but rather it's a mixture of things. One last thing before I move on to my next slide is you might say, well, how is this different from blended learning? Because you've all heard of blended learning. And my idea is that blended learning is sort of like a mixture of classroom presentation and outside of the classroom online content, but they're not necessarily synchronized in my view. With flipped learning, it's very much about having small lessons, like really little chunks that you watch, and then they're brought into the classroom the next day. Okay, it's not like long projects that you're doing offline, which could be characteristic of blended learning. So it's all about small bite-sized chunks in my view. Okay, well, this is a quote from a math teacher who said that 10 minutes of video can really take place of a whole class period. I'm not exactly sure about that for us, but my target is 7-minute videos, 5 to 7 minutes. And I like to record those to give them a chance to have opportunities for deeper learning of explicit knowledge, like in a grammar, for example, or writing. And then they can produce that in the classroom, maybe even do like the writing task in class, for example. And since it's recorded, if you have a mixed ability class, such as Dan was talking to us about, then the stronger students can fast forward through things that are kind of basic, and the weaker students can take more time and they can rewind and repeat and listen again, so that if they have questions, so that if they have problems, they can really come to class with their questions perhaps a little better formulated. Again, I'm talking, or I didn't tell you that I'm talking about an older context, not really young learners, but sort of teenagers, upper high school students, and maybe adults even. Okay, so one of my things that I want to do coming up is on mixed conditionals, just to give you an example. I thought it would be valuable to focus on the form and look at the examples of usages and the differences in meaning between that, the mixed conditionals, and the second or third conditionals. Then when we get into class, we can explore some hypothetical situations, perhaps watch a video and talk more about that, short video. Another one that I'd like to do coming up is pronunciation of ED. And then I could perhaps show them a narrative and they'd have to write down the ED words. So they're doing this at home. Okay, well, let's go on, and I'm going to give you 5 steps to make your flipped classroom. And I don't want you to feel like you're in front of a firing squad, but I have here ready, aim, fire, calibrate, and spread. So be ready, be inspired, and have some goals. Think about what you want to do, because just recording for its sake is not going to work very well. The next one is prepare the content for your slides. And this can take some time because you have to make a PowerPoint or perhaps take a PDF and have the words appear, not just have everything all on one page. Then fire. Do a screen capture and narrate the slides, a little like we're doing today. You're capturing, well, you're actually videotaping me. I guess I'm wrong, but my slides are being captured, and that's what you try to do. Then calibrate. Edit the video in iMovie or a Movie Maker or some other free software so that you cut out some parts that are bad and you can add in the credits. Then I would say you should spread. So post it on YouTube. Get your own account. Get your own channel. It's free, so it'll be good for you to work with. Just to quote something, the flipped approach to ELT is engaging the learners. I think that's very important. So the learners need to be engaged. The contents need to be somehow meaningful, and they have to have the aim of having good language exposure, which will result in better abilities. If you don't have all of these things, if you don't have a positive extension in the classroom, your recording efforts are probably not worth it. So it's got to be engaging and useful, basically. Okay, so going through the 5 parts, I was thinking about some questions to help you to guide you through it. Would you like to teach a grammar point? Would you like to record a vocab list? Would you like to give functional phrases or do a writing tutorial? Or maybe you'd like to go through all of the essays that you've received in the class and give group feedback on writing. And then the students would have to maybe correct the errors in their writing, duplicating exactly what you've said. So you know they've watched it and you've engaged them in watching it. But at the same time, they're hearing about their college stuff. The second thing is preparing the slides. So you make a template. You'll see mine in a moment. You should gather then examples from the internet to put into your PowerPoint or your PDF or whatever you want to do, and then add transitions so that you don't have all of the things on one page at one time. I did that in the beginning and it's a little bit boring. Okay, next, do a screen capture. Record your video. And I have this lovely walrus here with a great link that explains flip learning in a different way with penguins and a walrus or a sea lion or whatever he is. I'm not good with animals. And keep in mind one thing. The funny thing about this video is they show that he's actually in front of the camera like I am now. But in flip learning, you don't need to do that. You can actually just have your content. So you don't have to clean your living room. You don't have to do anything except speak into your microphone and show your PowerPoint. Then there's some things to remember. The students will see your screen. Use your mouse to reinforce info. And PC users especially can find funny little things to point where they're speaking about. I guess there's stuff for Mac too, but anyway. Vary your intonation. They have no visual support, so they're not seeing your mouth. And it's so important then that they can see or hear what you're trying to stress. Finally, keep it entertaining. Okay, this is some of the software that you can use. QuickTime comes in Macs, and you go to the File menu and use screen recording. Similarly, there's stuff for PC. One that I found that's really highly rated is EasyVid. I haven't used it myself, but one of the things I've read about it and what I've seen is that it has actually, at the bottom of the screen there, a little thing that shows your speaking. So you can see if you've got background noise or maybe you're not speaking loud enough or something. Once you're done, then calibrate. Edit your video in iMovie and add Movie Maker. You can add title credits. Then you can cut and fade out bad parts. And topic. To it. An example of one of my recordings. I've used an entertaining topic, at least I think it's entertaining, and I'd like you to see that real quick. Okay, so I've really personalized this, I feel, and my students have given me some good feedback, and a few others have still see it, but I know definitely they've heard it or not because of the marshmallows.
You did have a multimedia experience, so we'll take that into consideration.
So that's just I got to go on real quick.
A number of questions and comments on the board.
Finishing the off part, but I'm going to show you.
Thanks a lot for taking part, Shawn. As I keep saying, if you want to communicate with him, use the chat box as we switch over to the final speaker of the first hour. Oh, that's where his video went. Oops, that was my fault. I hit it. Hi, am I